Hey guys, it's Magaz here. This video is going to be a little different to what you're used to if you're a subscriber here. If you're here just for this video, then hey, welcome aboard. It's something new that I've not tried before, so let's see how this goes. So basically, growing up, I was a massive fan of GiJoe and the Action Force. So I collected those for years, all the way through my formative years, from probably like 88 onwards. So I've been watching a lot of reviews of those figures on YouTube lately, and I still have my childhood collection. So I'm going to be doing reviews of those individual figures and showing off some of the weird customizations I did as a kid, and doing like my top 5 favorite GiJoe, favorite Cobra figures that I own, and all this sort of stuff. But first, because I haven't actually got those out of storage yet, we're going to take a look at something that kind of combines two of my interests: GiJoe and The Walking Dead. So this is a Walking Dead action figure based on the GiJoe Tiger Force series. Now this is the man himself, Rick Grimes, as Shiva Force Rick. Now Shiva Force is definitely a sort of take on the Tiger Force, which was a subset or a version of GiJoe, like a mini team where there were jungle fighters dressed in tiger camouflage. It wasn't really great camouflage because it was, like you can see here, yellow and green stripes and shit like that. Anyway, we're gonna take a look at this action figure, see how it compares to GiJoe, and more specifically modern Joes, because it is not an O-ring figure like the classic figures. And we're going to open it up and take a look, basically. So yeah, let's do that. So first of all, we'll take a look at the actual packaging. You can see it is definitely imitating that classic Hasbro GiJoe Action Force aesthetic, where it's got the nicely drawn or illustrated figure, or the actual character here, with that classic explosion background, and it's even got the very similar typeface. Basically everything on this, the whole aesthetic is definitely Action Force, and it even has its own take on the Tiger Force logo, or Shiva Force logo. Shiva, if you don't know The Walking Dead, is the tiger that King Ezekiel has. We'll not go into what happens to that tiger because that'll be spoilers if you haven't seen it, but yeah, I like this idea where it's merging the two universes. So let's take a look at the rear, where we have another classic GiJoe aesthetic, where we have the characters that are available. And this happens sometimes on the GiJoe boxes where it's like more figures coming soon and stuff like that. But I'm guessing these are maybe the bad guys. Maybe the governor's in there, or Negan, or whoever, just random bad guys in the back there. But on this one, we've got Jesus, who appears to be a Megabox exclusive. I'm not sure what that means. Michonne, Ezekiel, Shiva, the tiger herself, and Rick Grimes. So a quick rundown. I think these were exclusive action figures at a convention, maybe Comic-Con, something like that. But they've found their way into B&M bargains here in the UK. And they had the whole range. I'm not sure if they had Jesus, I can't remember, but I basically just wanted to review one, so I picked up Rick. They're $9.99 each. I might pick up a couple of the others and see what they're like as well, but for now we've just got Rick. So on the back we've got the file card, which is it's a shame that this sticker is over the bottom of it here. That kind of ruins the packaging, but you know, even the classic GiJoe boxes sometimes had rando stickers stuck on there. But anyway, so the file card was a big part of the Action Force and GiJoe lore, where you'd have basically an illustration of the character and then a little bit of background about what their job was in GiJoe or Cobra, and a little bit about their background. So this says file name Grimes, Rick. Primary survival speciality, zombie extermination. They probably should have put Walker there because they don't use the Z word, a bit like Shaun of the Dead. Birthplace, Cynthiana, Kentucky. Rick is the ultimate survivor. He he awoke in this hellish world only to lose family, friends, even part of his soul along the way, before emerging as the man he is today. There is no one better suited to lead the Shiva Force out in the field, and no one better to deliver vengeance to anyone who would stand in the way of making this world better for all mankind. And then we have a quote down here which isn't really attributed to anyone, but it says, "This world's become a nasty place, but none of it scares Rick. Don't let the tough exterior fool you. He still believes this world is worth fighting for. And he stomped in more walker heads than the rest of Shiva Force combined. Heck, he doesn't even need two hands to get the job done." So it should be noted that this Rick only has one hand. So these are takes on the comic book versions of the characters, not the TV show. So in the comic book, the governor hacks off Rick's hand, hashtag spoilers right there, and for the rest of it is one-handed. There was another version of Rick, which wasn't in one of these G.I. Joe style boxes, so I didn't pick it up, which was Old Man Rick with his shaved head and big beard and a clampy hand. But anyway, yeah, I didn't pick that up because I was more drawn to this one because of the G.I. Joe aesthetic. The figure itself, it comes with an M4A1 with a nice little, it looks like a fabric sling maybe. It might be plastic. We'll find out in a minute because I'm gonna cut this bad boy open. Some people might cringe about doing that. "Oh my god, mate, it's not mint on card anymore," but fuck that. I want to get it out and have a look at it. And we've got his Colt Python, which is the classic Rick revolver, and his hatchet, which are basically the tools of his trade that he uses throughout the comic book, and the revolver and hatchet throughout the series. He has used a number of AR-15 style rifles as well throughout the TV show. You'll notice as well that this isn't the original holster that Rick has, because he obviously gets his hand hacked off, so he has a left-handed holster now. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, right, before we talk about how the figure looks and his outfit, let's cut this bad boy open. So I'm going to actually cut it off the back end so there's no damage to the card. So those mint on card purists, at least I'm not destroying the cardboard here. I'm just cutting the bubble off. I'll keep the bubble as well so I can reattach it. I might do it so it's not completely cut off, so I can actually reattach it a little simpler here. It's pretty tough there. Right, there we go. Let's put the Leatherman away. Now let's access Shiva Force Rick. So we'll just push the package into one side. We've got Rick in his little plastic prison here. He's actually tied in with some little get this bloody thing out. Right, that's gonna have to get cut. There we go. Rick Grimes is free. So first of all, we will take a look at this action figure. I'm interested to see the articulation on this because it looks a bit batshit crazy, if I'm honest. It's really difficult to get him out of this. So the thing that I was curious about was the leg articulation, which, that's interesting. So I thought it was just going to be this weird split articulation, which is weird, but it does have an interesting joint here. So let's talk about the articulation then. So like I said, we have this I can do the splits Van Damme articulation right here, but it also has each leg can move 90 degrees from the hip forwards and not quite 90 degrees backwards. And then from the knee we've got 90-degree rotation backwards, and it's not like the modern Jaws or the MTF figures which have two parts to the knees. It's just a single joint, but it is kind of like ratcheted, so it does kind of lock in place at each position, which is pretty good if you want to pause him. I've noticed his knees do rotate as well. You can rotate these 180 degrees, which is great for if you want to fallen off a building, I've broken my leg sort of gameplay. His feet don't really move. There is a little bit of wiggle room in there, but his trousers can't. In fact, the left foot doesn't move at all. The right foot kind of does, which makes me kind of think, are they supposed to move, or are they? I'm not sure. There's no holes in the bottom of the foot. With modern Jaws and the MTF figures and things like that, you have a little hole so you can put it on the foot pegs like the classic Jaws. But none of that here. There is some text on the bottom of this that says copyright 2017 Robert Kirkman, copyright 2017 TMP Inc. International Inc. I think, made in China, and then a serial number. I'm assuming each figure is individual serial numbered. So the arms, again with these ratcheted sort of joints, move out not quite all the way up. They do rotate 180 degrees, and they bend at the elbow, and sort of, yeah, they rotate 180 degrees at the elbow as well. The wrist rotates 180 degrees and folds in and out. Again, it's ratcheted. The hand, very nicely molded. It looks like he's got an unpainted wedding ring on there, which is a shame they didn't paint that little detail in, but you can't have everything. The other arm is a little stiffer. See, they must have put it in place when the paint was still wet, because you can see just the little bit of detail where the paint must have stuck down like this, and I've just broke it free. Again, his stumpy arm, all the same articulation and movement as his left arm. The head spins 360 degrees, as all heads should, and moves up and down and left and right slightly. So there we go, that's the articulation. I know you're all keen to know that. Oh, there's no articulation in the waist, it seems, which is a shame, because that's always good to have articulation in the waist. You can get some good action poses. Right, yeah, so let's talk about his face. Now, this face on this figure, it makes me think that Keanu Reeves might have been a really good actor to play Rick Grimes in the TV series, because this, did they just take the head off like a John Wick figure or something here? Because this is definitely a Keanu Reeves sculpt right there. That's pretty interesting. The outfit he's wearing is a very schlumpy t-shirt. It has the Shiva Force logo on there. It's bright yellow, and it has some extra paint details on the arms and the sides and the back of tiger stripes for the Shiva Force or Tiger Force. There is a tear in the t-shirt, and you can see an extra bit of paint detail through there, which is really good. So you can see the flesh tone underneath. Now the armpits, you can see the flesh tone. It'd have been nice if they'd have painted those the same color as the t-shirt. It's not a deal breaker, but you know, a nice paint detail on the neck. Slightly different color to his face though, which a bit of a downside for some people, but it's not really noticeable. The sculpt on the head, as I've mentioned, is very Keanu Reeves. It's quite nice. Very nice beard detail, very nice face, really nicely sculpted head. And let's take a look here. Comes off, it's a very similar joint to modern Jaws. It looks a little bit smaller, so I don't think this head would fit on modern Jaws, but it might do with a little modification. Oh, it's really hard to get back on. Hang on. There we go, got it back on. I thought I'd killed Rick then. So it's interesting that the post inside, it's a very thick solid neck with a post that's individually inside. Normally on the modern Jaws and the MTF figures, it's just a thin sculpt that goes into the head. I'm pretty impressed with the quality of this figure actually. I thought I'd be a little less impressed because I thought it was just going to have really crap articulation, but it is very well done. The belt here is a slightly softer rubber, and the holster actually works to hold the Python, and there is a small ring here to fit his hatchet. Take a look at that in a minute. Again, the trousers painted in that kind of khaki, well not quite khaki, OD green with yellow stripes. The yellow isn't very well applied. You can sort of see through the yellow, which makes me think, like in my head canon for this figure, that he's made these pants himself. He's just took some green trousers and spray painted yellow stripes on there to make himself the Shiva Force outfit, which, you know, maybe what you do in the the zombie apocalypse. Because camouflage isn't really a big issue fighting zombos, but I mean fighting other survivors and bandits, yeah, but zombos, they don't really see colour, do they? Well, they probably do, but they don't. They smell you before they see you. His boots are very well detailed. It looks like there's a couple of paint applications on there. It looks like it's been painted and then maybe dry brushed brown over it, so it's got that sort of worn leather look. The same on his belt and his bandages. I don't know if it's just crap painted on the bandages or if there has been like a dirt wash put over it, like a grey or something dry brushed over it. But overall, it's a very well made figure and very detailed. Quite impressed with it. Let's take a look at his accessories. Rick, you sit there. Start off with a hatchet. Nicely made. Quite solid, but I reckon you could probably snap it if you're fanning about with it too much. Nice paint detail on it again. It's a little bit of silver coming off the head of the axe onto the handle, but that's not an issue. And again, it looks like it was painted black and they've just kind of dry brushed like a brown over the handle and a kind of gunmetal silver over the blade. And as you can see, this fits nicely into his... I say fits nicely, I've never tried. Wow, it's actually quite hard to get into the holster for it, which is a shame. I mean, it's the kind of thing that once it's in there, you might leave it in there. There we go. So there's Rick with his hatchet. And then let's take a look at the classic Rick gun. Oh my god. Here's the Colt Python. Nicely detailed little sculpt here. It even has the logos on the grip. Stippling on the grip as well. You can definitely tell what it is. It's very nice. Great paint application again. Like with the previous accessories in that it looks like it was black and they've just dry brushed a silver over it. And same with the brown on the grip. So there we go. Let's put that in Rick's holster for a minute. It looks like it's a very loose fit in this holster. It might not even go all the way in. Alright, well it's in there. I don't think it's going to fall out. It's quite tight actually once you put it in, but it's not in as far as I hoped it'd go. And then the main piece here, the AR-15 or M4, the strap isn't fabric. It's kind of a really thin plastic that will definitely break if you mess around with it too much. But again, it's a nice sculpt. Not as nice as the MTF weapons. If you've seen the MTF weapons, you know that they are really nice sculpts, removable accessories, and they look legit. The grip and trigger on this look a little strange, and the buttstock seems a little longer than it should. But for an action figure, this is a really nice rifle. Again, it looks like it was painted black just with sort of gunmetal silver dry brushed over it. What I've just noticed that's a bit of a disappointment. Out of the box, the carry handle here is cracked. It is snapped. So there's already a break in the very thin details of this rifle, which is a damn shame, really. I was assuming that this strap would be the first thing to break, but obviously the carry handle sight, which is a shame. So let's see how this fits in Rick's hand. Now Rick's hand looks very tight, quite difficult to actually open, so I'm not even sure if you'll be able to hold this rifle. Get it in from the top. It's a tight one. So she said, oh, the strap's come off. I don't know, it hasn't broke. We're okay, it's just come loose. The strap is just over the barrel. So there we go, there's Rick. The strap is actually quite crap, if I'm honest. Just keeps coming loose. So yeah, there's Shiva Force Keanu Reeves with an M4 and a Colt Python. It's a pretty nice figure. So there we have it. So if this video goes down well and I can still get hold of the other figures, I might pick those up and do little reviews of them as well, because this is quite a nice little action figure. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead and a fan of classic action figures like the GiJoe, especially the Shiva Force range, then I can see you enjoying this. Let's see how he stands, because that's always an important... What's interesting is his left leg appears to be slightly shorter than his right leg. So there we go, there's Rick stood in an action pose. So yeah, Shiva Force Rick. If you've enjoyed this video and you're not here for my normal content, then do hit subscribe, leave some comments and likes, and let me know if you want to see this kind of stuff. I'm going to be doing, like I said, a lot of reviews on the classic O-ring action figures. So they're going to be coming over the next few months. And if you got any ideas for action figure reviews and videos you want me to do, just leave a comment down below. Now, this isn't the way my channel is going to go completely. Obviously, I'm still going to be doing my main focus, which is airsoft gameplay, reviews, news, the podcast, and all that sort of stuff. This is just something that I'm interested in that I thought I would get into as well. I'm going to take a look at the MTF or Marauder Task Force figures because they've slowly become my favorite go-to action figures for custom builds and stuff like that, because they are without a doubt the best put together figures. I even put them above modern Joes. I'll even have a look at some modern Joes because I've got a few of those in my collection. And yeah, just let me know what you like. I'm going to need a new sign off for this because my usual "the air may be soft but our balls are hard" doesn't work for this, so we'll just improvise as we go along, I guess. If you've enjoyed this, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell to see when the next video goes live. If you're new to this channel and you've not checked out my other content, please do go take a look at it because I put a lot of time and effort and a lot of work into all these videos. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Magaz, and this is Action Figure Reviews.